What is a cover supervisor? Maybe you're a TA looking to secure some more work, or you're new to education and you're not sure what this role is and whether it be suitable for you. Working as a cover supervisor is a great way to get into teaching and a really valuable part of the support team. Hi everyone, I'm Natalie from My Progression, and this video will tell you what to expect as a cover supervisor and how to be successful every time. Well, cover supervisor roles will mostly be in secondary school settings. If you are currently working in a different setting but would like to give secondary a try, this video will benefit you. If you are already a cover supervisor, stay tuned for some additional advice and guidance to help you elevate your practice. So what is a cover supervisor? A cover supervisor is someone who covers a class of students. This could be pre-planned or at short notice due to staff sickness. They'll be supplied with preset tasks for each lesson, and their main responsibility will be overseeing the students and managing their behaviour. A cover supervisor is not meant to teach. The class teacher will have already created a lesson plan with the tasks for the day. So there'll be no expectation for a cover supervisor to teach subjects they haven't experienced or to mark any work. You simply need to make sure they're doing their work. However, the school will expect you to be flexible, organised, prepared, professional, punctual, and proactive. It may be that you're in one classroom for the whole day, but if the school are able to move staff around internally, then you may visit different classrooms throughout the day. Who can be a cover supervisor? You might be watching this thinking, no marking and lesson planning? Great, where can I sign up? Good news, there's no specific qualifications required to work as a cover supervisor. Most successful cover supervisors have come from an education background, such as teaching drama or dance at a Saturday club, sports coaching, or as a teaching assistant. Maybe you've retired from permanent teaching but miss the feeling of being in a classroom. You could have experience teaching abroad but want the opportunity to work in an English school. Or you could have been working as a lunchtime supervisor and now you want an extra challenge. Maybe you're interested in a career in teaching and a cover supervisor role would be the perfect place to start. So what are the school looking for in a good cover supervisor? Approachability. You could be meeting lots of staff and students for the first time. It's so important that people can approach you and ask you questions. Or if you're covering in your own school but in a different subject, you may be supporting different students to normal. They need to feel like you were there to help them. Resilience. We all know what goes through a student's mind when they realise they have a cover supervisor for the day. It's likely that some students will try and push your buttons and generally see what they can get away with. By ensuring you're resilient and prepared for the challenging behaviour you might face, the day will be a success. Supportive. Whilst you're not expected to be able to teach every subject, you still will encourage questions from students who might need some support with a task they've been set. Be supportive, encourage them to ask others for advice and create a positive atmosphere. Punctual. Cover supervisor positions will often be very short notice due to the nature of the cover required. It's imperative that you arrive at the school for the time specified to ensure that the cover is in place for when the students arrive. Adaptable. Cover supervisors are the glue that holds the school together when they have unexpected sickness or absences. One day you could be covering a GCSE science and another day it might be Year 7 drama. So being adaptable is key. And they need someone who is quick to settle and hit the ground running. You can't spend the first 20 minutes of a 45-minute lesson reading through the lesson plan. You need to be ready to launch into the lesson and get the class sorted and on task. So let's look at a day in the life of a cover supervisor. We know that in education, not every day will be the same, but what can you expect if you've been asked by your head teacher to cover a completely different subject? or you've been booked by a school as a cover supervisor for the first time. If you're with an agency and your consultant calls to book you in for a cover supervisor shift, they'll make sure you know exactly what you need to take with you. So this could include photographic ID, such as passport or driver's license, your DBS certificate, your lunch. Most schools are cashless, so you may struggle to buy food anywhere else. Any additional items, such as a PE kit or a warm coat. See our video on dress code advice for more on how to make the right impression. And whilst you're there, like, subscribe, and click on the bell to keep hearing more from My Progression. Once you've arrived at the school, make your way to the reception and sign in there. The reception staff will go through procedures or expectations you need to be aware of. This could be safeguarding or behaviour policies, lunchtime procedures, or expectations around registering the students and logging absences. Sometimes schools will give you their behaviour policies in a booklet form rather than talk you through it. So if this is the case, read the resources you've been given. You'll also be given your timetable for the day. This could be for the same subject throughout the day, or it could be for different subjects in different areas of the school as the day goes on. Now, if there is a subject you haven't taught before, don't worry. When you arrive at the classroom, there'll be pre-prepared resources and lesson plans ready for you to give to the students. Your main role is to manage the behaviour of the class and ensure they're completing the tasks they've been given by their permanent teacher. Ensure you familiarise yourself with the work that's been left by the permanent teacher. Your main responsibility is to hand out the resources that have been left and to ensure the lesson plan is followed, as well as supporting the students and managing that classroom behaviour. When you arrive to lessons, it's usual practice for students to line up outside the classroom quietly before they enter. Don't be afraid to wait until they're quiet. And if there are signs of challenging behaviour, ask for support from another teacher. This is going to demonstrate you're in control before you enter the classroom. If the permanent teacher has left a seating plan, seat the children in this way. Once you're happy that the class is settled, it's time to get on with the lesson. The first task for the cover supervisor is to register the pupils in the class. This is a legal requirement and is extremely important. Now, this is likely to be through SIMS, a management information system that's widely used in schools. Most schools will give you a temporary login to use. However, if you're struggling, ensure you seek help from another staff member. We've linked a good training video for SIMS in the description below. You might also want to consider taking down a paper register too, just to be safe. Upon completion of the register, it's time to set the pre-planned work for the class, hand out any resources for the lesson, and deliver the lesson plan. Remember, a cover supervisor isn't expected to actually teach, just to ensure the work is being done. You should use positive words of encouragement to those students getting on with the task and redirect those students who aren't focused back to their work. Once you've set the work, don't just sit behind the desk. Walk around the room engaging with the students as you go. This will go a long way to ensuring the students stay on task, but also shows them that you are there to help and to support them. Throughout the lessons, you might be faced with tricky questions about a subject you aren't too sure about. This is absolutely fine. Nobody's expecting you to know the answer to everything. A good way to deal with this is to keep a section of the board to note down these questions, and then the permanent teacher can then cover this when they return. When the bell rings for lunchtime or breaks, that's your cue to let the students go. Before you go yourself, it's expected that the room is left in the same way as it was found. A quick check around, tidying as you go, is more than enough. If it's break or lunchtime and you don't have any duties, you might choose to spend your breaks in the staff room. Now, staff rooms can be a daunting place, so check out our other video on staff room etiquette for some helpful advice. Once your lessons are finished for the day, as a cover supervisor, you aren't expected to do any marking. However, if you're confident to do so, I'm sure the permanent teacher would greatly appreciate this. Again, ensure the classroom is left tidy and head back out to reception to sign out. Hand back anything they've given to you, such as fobs, and remember to thank them for having you. Leaving a good impression with the staff is imperative, as they're likely to want you back. So what if the students you've been covering haven't completed all of the work that was set for them? Will there be any repercussions? Well, no, not really. The school knows your role is to manage the behaviour in the classroom, and honestly, as long as the majority of the work is complete and you kept the class safe, you should be fine. As we've previously mentioned, students will potentially try to push your buttons and see what they can get away with. This might be trying to sit next to their friends or avoid doing the work that's been set for them, or just general mischievous behaviour. This is a common apprehension amongst cover supervisors, but as long as you set expectations at the beginning of the lesson and follow the school's behaviour policy, this should be manageable. Every school will have their own way of doing things, and if they're in a rush to get you settled, it could be easy to miss information to make your day go smoother. This could be tips on how to use Sims or the quickest way to get to the canteen. If this happens, don't be afraid to ask for help or support. Remember, the school want you to succeed, so ask teachers in neighbouring classrooms, pop into the staff room, or ask the sensible children in the class. Regardless of your role in an education setting, the safeguarding of all pupils will always be the #1 priority. Make sure you're aware of the school's safeguarding policies and procedures before entering any classroom. Should a student make a disclosure to you, remember to be calm, professional, and listen to what they have to say. The priority is maintaining the student's safety as per the safeguarding policy, and to report the disclosure as soon as possible. One thing is for sure, when you work as a cover supervisor, no 2 days will ever be the same. It's a role that will keep you on your toes, but also be incredibly rewarding and can propel your education career. Remember, cover supervisors do not require a formal teaching qualification, but some experience in an education setting is a must. A good cover supervisor will be approachable, resilient, supportive, punctual, and adaptable with great behaviour management skills. So if you are looking for a new challenge, or you want to grow your experience in a school setting, or you just want to keep your skills and knowledge relevant, working as a cover supervisor could be the perfect role for you. I've been Natalie from My Progression, and if you've enjoyed this video on what to expect as a cover supervisor, then like, subscribe and click on the bell below to keep hearing more from My Progression. And as always, let's keep your career in motion.